Today we're going to do an overview of the Exatouch point of sale system for table service and quick service environments. So what we're looking at here is our main menu of the Exatouch point of sale system. We've got 10 modules, reports and register are two main ones. They're in the center. That's where you're going to be at the most. We have 8 additional modules for supporting tasks outside of those. I'm going to go ahead and tap in, and I'm going to do that by tapping the little red padlock down here in the bottom right. Now, thing to note, I'm utilizing my mouse and my keyboard today for the demonstration. However, you can utilize your finger to touch everything on the screen. We do have a number pad that will pop up for any numerical fields that you need to maintain with your finger. You can also pop up a virtual keyboard on screen as well. Majority of my work today will be with the physical mouse and keyboard that I have in hand. Another note, within Exatouch, we do have our own time clock system, so if you want to have your staff that are hourly clock in and out on that, you can. Otherwise, you can simply have them pin in and pin out, or swipe in and swipe out with employee access cards. I'm going to clock in. I'm going to enter my PIN. It's successfully done. Now I'm logged into the system. And then from here, I'm going to jump in and we're going to create a couple things so that we can begin selling here in the Exatouch system. So the very first thing that I want to do is create a staff member. Again, when you're setting up our system, this is pretty much going to be done at the very beginning. Once it's set up, you don't have to do this again in the future unless you're adding new staff members or deactivating them, etc. So I'm going to tap staff, and then I'm going to go into staff details. Now, to do this, I have to be an administrator. Since I am logged in as a supervisor, I don't have access to do this in the system. So the administrator is going to have to put in their PIN to let me get in. So we're going to swipe in with administrative PIN. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our staff member. So we're going to put in Susie, and we're going to give her a last name. And we want a staff type. So we're going to say, hey, she's a cashier. And we could have servers, delivery drivers, kitchen staff, bussers, etc. All those can be set up. You can add as many different staff types as you want. Those are customizable by your particular business. We're going to give Susie a PIN, 4 digits. If we're utilizing the access cards, we'd simply swipe those on the side of the monitor. And we're going to make her a regular user. Now, everything from address around to ID expires is not required. It's just here if you need a handy place to store it outside of your payroll system. Again, it's your choice if you want to put it in or not. It's not required. We're going to go ahead and save Susie. We've got everything in it that we need. And then from here, I'm going to jump over to items. So we're going to create a couple modifiers in an item, and then we're going to move into the register after we create those, and we'll sell them. So I'm going to go to items, and then we're going to go to item details. And I'm going to go ahead and create a couple modifiers. Now, I've already set up a lot of my inventory items for my menu that I'm going to sell, but for the purposes of the demo, we're going to show one here. So I'm going to tap my SKU. Again, in the restaurant environment, the only time you'll need to have UPC codes is if you're scanning or selling prepackaged items that already have the UPC codes on them. Otherwise, if you're not doing that, you can simply tap the barcode button here and we'll give you the next available SKU. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and add my item. I'm going to make this a modifier. So I'm going to locate my modifiers category here, which I call mods. And then we're going to put in the different modifier for it. So we want this to be our topping. And we're going to make it a free topping. There's no price on it. I'm going to go ahead and assign my revenue class and my revenue center. I don't need to check age. It's a non-inventory item, so that would be non-inventory. I could set tax groups here if I need to do that. If there was a cost associated with this, I could put that in as well. Since this is a modifier, we're not adding any upcharges on it or anything on this particular screen. We're going to go over to our modifiers tab and make some additional changes there. Again, this is the modifier that we're setting up first. The promotions tab, the inventory tab, or the bulk tab do not apply to it. I'm going to tap on modifiers. And from here, I'm going to make this item a modifier. And if I wanted to give it an upcharge, maybe I could. We'll just say $1.25. We can put a modifier upcharge on here for $1.25. We can set that up. Now, again, I've already defined it for burger toppings in the subcategory and burger mods as the main category. At this point, I'm done. I can go ahead and create my next modifier. I could do a couple other things here as well. If I wanted to go ahead and add it to a specific category of food items, I could do that, or drink items if it was a drink modifier, etc. I'm not going to do it at this point because I'm going to create my item and I want to go ahead and do all my selections from the item because it's going to be specific to one particular burger that I'm going to create in a moment. So we'll save this. Okay, now that I've created all of my modifiers, I'm now ready to create my menu item that I'm going to add those to. So I do have some menu items already set up. I'm just going to add a new one. And again, I'm going to tap my barcode button, my short description. And we're going to make a pimento cheese and bacon burger. We're going to assign it a category and a subcategory. Now, if I had different categories of burgers, I could do that. In this particular instance, I just have the one category. We'll give it a price. Again, we want to set our revenue center and our revenue class. We don't need to check age. It's a non-inventory item. If we know what our food cost is, we'll put that in. It's $3.55. If I need to tax it, I can do that. If I want to make it visible on the register, I can do that as well. If it's a different color that I want to add to it, maybe I want to make this particular one a different color up here, I could do that if I wanted to. Otherwise, I would just leave it to the default or whatever my category, subcategory colors are. And that's what I'm going to accept is my category and subcategory if I have those defined. I'm going to make a promotion for this. So I'm going to say, hey, it's on sale. If you come in and you buy one, we will sell it to you for $7.95, and it's going to be a timed event, and this is going to be from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. on Wednesdays. Now, I only set this up $7.95 if you buy one from 12 to 2 on Wednesdays during lunch. I could also set up an additional 3 promotions. Maybe there's a happy hour special from 6 until 7:30, or there's a weekend special on Friday and Saturday. They come in and buy this, and they get a free appetizer with a mix and match. Whatever the case might be, you can set those up. Again, I just set up the one promotion here. It's lunchtime on Wednesday. If I wanted to do up to 4 different promotions on a particular item, I could do that. The other thing that I am not showing you here on the screen at this point is a category mix and match where you could say if they come in and buy burgers and fries or burgers and beer, they get a percentage or a set price or a discount or BOGO, whatever the case might be for those particular items. I'm going to ignore the inventory tab. We do not do recipe inventory in Exatouch, so there's nothing to set up here. I'm going to move to the modifiers. And this is where I'm going to add all of my modifiers. So we're going to take a little bit of time to set one up here. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to roll up my modifier. So if there's a price for an upcharge on it, I want to roll that up into the same charge or the single charge on the receipt, not show different charges for each modifier and the item. Now I'm going to locate my mods category over here, and I have it right here. And then I'm going to do a couple different things. I want to get my burger sides and my burger toppings. So we're going to go ahead and add our sides. I'm going to simply tap that and just move over all of them. And then we're going to do a burger toppings. So I'm going to tap that and move over all of those as well. And we'll also move over our cheese. So if we want to make any types of cheese selection changes, we can do that as well. Now that I've moved all of those over, I'm now ready to edit my modifiers that this item can have. Now I did it one way. You don't have to do it this way. You can assign modifiers to the category item whenever you create it. You can add them individually by doing an add item here by simply tapping this. It'll give you a list of the modifiers that you can add if you want to do that. Otherwise, you can do what I'm doing here. You simply scroll down through those and take out the ones that you don't want. I don't want a pineapple ring on mine, so I'm going to delete that. We'll make, let's see, we'll take out our cheese blend, and we'll take out the brie, the blue cheese. We'll take out the options for 2 slices here. We'll take out our chili and the blue cheese crumbles. Okay, so now that I have the items on here that I want, oops, let's take out the baked beans as well. So now that I've taken out the items that I don't want on it, I'm going to go ahead and add my burger size. Those are modifiers for that. And then I'm going to manage my groups. So the first thing I want to do is tap my manage group, and I'm going to change my group levels. So group A, this is going to be my size. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically setting up some required modifiers that the server has to select whenever this menu item gets added to their ticket. So I want to do size, and I'm going to say heat. This is for my rare, medium rare, etc. And I want to do sides. And again, these are my French fries, different items that come with it. So we'll set those up. And we're going to say, hey, you can have up to 2 sides and 1 size and 1 heat. So now that I've set those up, I'm going to go through each one of my different modifiers and set whether they're required or not. So side, we're going to put that in our sides. Chips, we're going to put in our sides. And there's another little trick that we can do here. We can simply tap on it, and then we can use our keyboard to move down to the item and then hit the tab key. We're going to make grilled onions not required. So we'll scroll through these. And we have a couple items to move here. And then we'll add vegetable as well. So steak fries and onion straws, we want to make those our side. We'll do seasoned fries, and then we'll make no fries because maybe we don't want fries with it. And all the other ones here we'll simply take out until we get down to our last couple items here. So sweet potato fries, I want to make those aside, and waffle fries aside. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, now we're ready to sell this particular item. So you see I've set all of mine up. I have sides, I have sizes, I have heat, I have non-required. Some of my modifiers have up charges, some do not. Everything is set up the way I want it. Now, another neat thing that you can do here as well is that you can make some additional modifications to the particular item. You can also set it up and then duplicate it multiple different times. So you can do that with your modifiers as well as your items. You can duplicate it as many times as you need to. So if you're creating a bunch of items at once, you don't have to go in and manually set up each of those individual items. You can simply create the one with the most items on it or the one that's got the most detail, and then you can simply duplicate it and create all your other items from that. So we'll save this. And now that I've created my item, I am ready to sell this at the register. So we'll clear our screen, and I can go home, and from here I can tap register. Now, I'm running table service at this point, so what we're looking at here is a representation of my floor plan at my restaurant. You'll see that we've got multiple different table types and sizes. I don't have bar stools, but those are available as well. I have different colors. Those colors do mean something. We can tap the status button here to see what those are. So red is in cleanup, the light blue is in ordered, white is occupied, green is available. The grayish off color here, the taupe color, is check printed. We just have some items that are ordered again. This is just giving us a status of these. We can have closed sections or open sections. Mine are open. And any staff member that has access to the floor plan would be able to maintain those. So I'm going to uncheck the status here, and I'm going to select table 20, which is a 4-top. and we'll just start the process. So it's asking me at this point, do you want to mark it occupied or do you want to do an order? I'm going to do an order, and we're going to add a couple items. So I've got a 4-top here. We're going to add some beers. So we're going to grab this Ashcraft IPA, a couple Heinekens, and a Sam Adams, and we'll put those on. Okay, we're going to save the order, and my preference is to label it and then generate the order over to the bar. So we're going to say Jack's Team here, and this is the ticket that's going to print at the bar for the bartender to fill the drink order. And we're ready for the next transaction or the next server to show up. Now, at this point, when we're ready to take our appetizer or dinner order, we can simply tap floor plan or lunch order, whatever it might be. We now see that table 20 is in blue. That means it's ordered. The server is now ready to take the entree order for the table or appetizers, depending on what they're ordering next. Again, the staff member will simply come back to the floor plan or to the Get Order tab. They'll tap the table or look it up. We're going to go ahead and tap table 20. From here, we can do a few different things. We can make it available. We can mark it occupied again, reassign it, move to check, join it to a different check, etc. Or if they're ready, we could go ahead and print that check out for them. We could also cash out from here as well. We're going to go ahead and jump into the order. And just going to pull this up. And we're going to add the burgers that we want to get, the order that we created earlier. So I'm going to tap the pimento cheeseburger. I'm just going to bring up my required modifiers. Now again, with required modifiers, I have to select one or more different items out of the different groups in order for me to move past this. So I want to go ahead and make it a ½ pound. I'll take mine medium, and we'll add onion straws to it and sweet potato fries as our 2 sides. Now, these are required. If there are regular modifiers that I want to make, I can simply go to the regular modifiers tab. And then from here, I can choose those. Again, all of your different modifiers that you set up will display here. So if you have multiple different modifiers for the particular item, you would have those there. You don't have to display every available option that you have in your system, only the ones that apply to the item that you're selling. So we can have modifiers here with or without upcharges. We can also have additional special instructions. We start with hold, but we can have up to 8 additional instructions here that are special, and these may or may not include upcharges as well. So if we want to hold the onion and tomato, I can simply tap the hold button, tap red onion and tomato. If I want to do a side of something else, I can simply tap the side of, and we'll say jalapenos. And that's all we're going to do to modify. So we're assuming that everything else that comes standard with this particular burger is what the customer is going to get. Again, we can do special instructions at the bottom as well. They're handwritten in if we need to do that. We can pop up the keyboard if we need to. We can, again, make multiple different changes here as needed for the different items or modifiers that we have on here. This particular burger is done. We're going to go ahead and add an all-American burger. Again, we'll make this a ½ pound. We'll take it medium, and we'll add chips as a side. We're not going to modify anything here on this one. We're simply going to add it. From here, we'll add a couple apps as well. So we'll do a crab app, and we'll do a couple small plates. Okay. So now that we've added all these particular items to the order, I can go ahead and save it again. So based on the category that we've got set up for each particular item, it and its modifiers are going to print to the appropriate station. So if I have a burger station or a steak station or 1 or 2 stations in the kitchen that are different, or just the one, or maybe it's a dessert station, etc., that we're sending all of these to, based on our category, it's going to tell it where it needs to print. We can have up to 8 different printers remote in Exatouch. So these are all going to print out here to the kitchen. We have all of our different modifiers. My required modifiers are printing first. All of my subsequent non-required modifiers print below that. If there's no modifier on it, it just prints with a line in between them. There's nothing else to show here for the cook or the chef to maintain. We'll go ahead and close this. The guest is going to continue with their meal, setting at the floor plan. Whenever they're ready for their check, we're simply going to tap the table. We'll tap print check. This is what we're going to see. This is our check in detail. If you want to have your suggested gratuity amounts print, we can do that as well. Otherwise, they don't have to. We'll go ahead and print this out. We'll close it. The server's taking the check to the table. The table at that point says, hey, we'd like to split something, or maybe have multiple forms of payment. We can simply tap the table again. We can grab our order. From here, if I need to split this, I can do that. I can simply split by item. I'm going to go ahead and tap the Ashcraft. We'll move that over. We'll tap the pimento cheese. We'll move that over. The other items we're going to leave. I'm not going to print out all new checks again. I'm simply going to click Done. The orders are listed here. I simply tap the order that I want to go ahead and take payment on. I can tap Open. From here, if I need to maintain this, take items off, do discounts, etc., I can do that. I can do this at the Details tab as well. For the most part, you would not have to come to the details in a restaurant environment unless you're overriding something. Maybe his burger was a little cold. We're going to go ahead and take a couple bucks off. So we'll just make this for $9 instead. And a manager could override that if you have access. If you're not a manager, you don't have access to do it, you wouldn't be able to do that. I'm going to move to the Pay tab. Maybe I want to split this between two different people. I can do a split by 2. This will allow me to split it evenly. I can choose my pay types. Again, if it's cash and credit, or 2 different credit cards, or an e-gift card, or debit card, or whatever the case might be. If you take rewards points at your restaurant, you could do that as well. We're going to go ahead and split this by 2 different people evenly. And we're going to go ahead and tap the Pay tab here. It's going to prompt me for my first payment. I'm going to say they gave me 40 bucks, just 15.26 and change for the first part. For the second one, they gave me 30. It's going to print out the final receipt here with both tender types on it. Again, it showed me down at the bottom. Since I paid with cash, I'm getting a cash discount adjustment. It's assuming that all of my prices at my restaurant are credit card pricing. And you can see here that I saved $2.01 by paying with cash. If I was applying a customer service fee where all the prices are cash and we charge a fee for processing credit cards, we could do that as well. Again, if you do not provide a cash discount or a customer service fee for credit card processing, there's nothing more for you to do here. You simply would not see this on your receipt. There would be no adjustment for it as well. Our first check is done. The next guest can continue on, or they can simply pay for their check as well when they're ready. We'll go to Get Order this time. We see it's right here. It's table 20. We'll tap that one. This is going to be a simple check. We're going to go to the back on the Pay tab, and we can come here and we can do a couple of different things. If it was gift card or credit or cash, whatever, we can go ahead and choose those. Maybe there's a promotion that they have or a 10% off coupon that they want to apply. We'll go ahead and apply that. We'll pay the balance in cash. Again, we get our final guest check, change, that goes back to the table. Had I processed a credit card, it would also print out all the credit card receipts with the tip line and the total amount for adjusting as well. So from here, I'm going to show you the same setup, but in quick service environment with what we call simple mode. So as I said earlier, we are in the detailed category view here. As we're clicking through these, you can see we have subcategories underneath our category as well as our items. We can make a simple setting change, and this can be done at any point. The merchant can do this themselves. Depends on how many menu items you have, etc. I can come here. It says simple mode. I'll simply tap that. We'll tap save. Now, when I go back into the register this time, it's going to be running in simple mode, which you would see more in your quick service environments. So if a quick service restaurant might have this in place, or a restaurant that has a small menu, maybe you're a cafe, bakery, etc., you have a very small menu, less than say 100 items or so that are active at any given time, you can run our system in simple mode. So I'm going to go to the register, and now you'll see the difference. So we have all of our different types here: dine-in, call-in, drive-through, etc. We still have all the capabilities of those types of orders, but now everything is in simple mode. We don't have to drill into the different categories. I've colorized all of my different items that I'm selling, and we sort the items by color when we do that. So we've got all of our different items sorting here. And again, around 100 or so would be displayed on here very easily. Staff can move up and down very quickly on it and make changes as they need to. It's your choice in which way you want to run it, but that capability is there. So I might say, let's go ahead and add an Aloha burger. We'll do the same thing here again, and we'll just go ahead and say they're getting chips. We could put our drink size on here as well. If you're doing a combo, we'll mark it done. At this point, I do not have to utilize a floor plan. This could be a dine-in, could be a drive-through, delivery, whatever the case might be. I'm going to go ahead and take my cash payment. They paid me 20 bucks. It's going to print this out. It's also going to fire back to the kitchen at the same time. The kitchen order, if we split that up, we need to send it to the fry station, to the kitchen, to the beverage station, or whatever. We can kick out those 3 receipts as needed based on the category of the item that they're getting. If the server or the cashier is pulling a drink order, whatever, there's really no need to send that additional receipt over to it. They can just simply pull that at the time they complete the order. We've got our change, and we're done. So now that I've shown you both modes here, I'm going to switch back and we're going to go to customers, and we're going to talk about customers for just a moment. Now, the only reason why in a restaurant environment you'd want to add a customer is if you're giving out points or rewards for customers that are purchasing, or you've got some type of mug club that you're running, maybe a brewery and you've got a mug club that you're doing, or bar or whatever, or you simply just want to track all of their purchase history and send them happy birthday notices and that sort of thing. If you're setting up customers in those types of environments, first and last, and a telephone number is all that is required. As you can see that we pull Alex up here. We've got all of his information in, his address and everything else. If we were doing delivery type services, we'd want to make sure that the address is correct, and we can simply do that by simply typing in the address. And when we do so, the system's going to attempt to automatically verify that for us. So we can say 105 Charleston Street, and the system's going to attempt to validate the address whenever I save this customer here. So it's giving me a couple different options, and it's saying, hey, we didn't find it under the way you've typed it in, but we found this one. Is this correct? And I'm going to say yes, the first one's correct, and we're going to go ahead and tap OK. Now again, restaurant environment, delivery, you want to make sure you have a proper address. If you want to capture their birth date for sending out happy birthday notices, you can do that out of our system. You want to get their email address, obviously, to be able to send the messaging. If you're not doing delivery, you're not doing emails, there's really no need to capture a customer unless you just want to grab purchase history for them. So get everything set up here on a customer. I'm going to go ahead and click off of this, and we'll get into some of our reports. So from reports, we can look at staff reports. So if we want to run our weekly staff schedules, I'm running it for all time periods, all weeks. You can set staff schedules up to a year in advance. You can maintain those at any point. You can then, once they're set up, come out and run your staff schedule report here for the week. I'm running it for multiple days and months, but you can also just run it for the time period, the week that's coming up, the month that's coming up, etc., and just simply print those out. You can email them to staff. You can print them out to screen as we see here. You can print them out to a report printer. You can also dump them to a thumb drive on Excel, PDF, or Word. You can also, again, run this as many times as you want, make any changes to the schedules you want, and then come back and update it, and those updates will show as well. I'm going to also show our detailed shift report here. Our detailed shift report, again, this will give us the details. I'm running it for multiple days. You can run it for any time period that you wish to do so. And it will show you all the details as to what's taken place for each staff member, all of their different orders and checks that they may have completed or have in process. It will give you all the details on those. We can also run time details as needed, or time clock reports. Again, you might have your hourly staff where you want to run their time clock reports out so that you can send that out to the payroll company. You can definitely capture their time if they're clocking in and out, and then send that to the payroll company for the pay period in question. I'm going to move off of staff reports, and we're going to go into sales reports. So in the sales reports, you can see that we can do many different report options here. We can see what our top selling items were. Again, we can do this for the current date, for last month, the entire year, the beginning of time, whatever we want to run it for. I've only done a few of these today. We can also see items that are not moving. We can utilize this report to see items that haven't been sold. If we've got quantity on hand, etc., we might want to go ahead and do a sale, do some type of an event, donate the items, etc., to go ahead and move those out. I just also ran the zero moving with items that are in stock, so we could get rid of all these items if they're not selling with some type of special or event. And then if we no longer want to sell them after that, we can mark them inactive so that they don't show up in our system. Again, we can run tax reports. We can do sales transaction reports, credit card settlement reports, or refund and voids. All of these different types of reports are available in the system. And again, they can be emailed to Excel, PDF, or Word. They can also be dumped out to a thumb drive in Excel, PDF, or Word format. You can preview them on the screen or you can print them out. I'm going to show two other reports now. The first report I'm going to show you is a snapshot report. And this is your X report. So you can basically run it at any point during the shift or the day, and you can see where you are. I'm just running it for my whole day and for my current business hours. It'll let you see where you are. Maybe there's some type of payout that you need to do, or you need to do a cash drop, or whatever the case might be. This is for the entire company or entire business. And it's going to show you where you are today and everything that has been done. The other report that I'm going to show is our business overview report. The business overview report, the neat thing about it, again, from 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. yesterday, I can have the system automatically email that information out to me for everything that took place. So we've got a summary here of all of our different reports in different areas of our accounting reports, our sales by category, our busy times, etc. All of our different payment transactions, any taxes that collected, employee tips that have been entered, etc. Those would all show, and we can have those automatically emailed to different staff members, one or more staff members if you want to do that. Your accounting office, your bookkeeper, your management team, whoever needs to get that report can get it. Once you set it up, you don't have to change it unless someone's email address changes or they're no longer active with the company. The final report I'm going to show you would be a staff member report. Again, staff members clocking out at the end of the day. We want to run their shift report. They can run it in X mode or they can clock out. I'm going to go ahead and clock out to show that capability. Put in my PIN number. It's going to ask me to declare any tips that I've taken. I've gotten $40. We'll simply tap OK here. It's asking me, should I print my shift report? I'm going to say yes. And it's going to give me all the details for everything that I have done today. This would be my report here. Thanks for joining us. Explore the Exatouch knowledge base for more great videos, demos, and instructions.